And I probably have another one. They say there's a young woman, a young racist in Atlanta. She's a racist.
What does he mean by they say there's probably another one, another young racist in Atlanta? Because it's pretty clear to me, these dog whistles that he throws out, and I just am interested to see whether it's as clear to you, because he knows exactly who Fani Willis is. He knows exactly why he is about to be indicted again. He knows exactly what these cases are against him. He pleads ignorance, he pleads the victim, and then suddenly he has all this intel that he makes up to spew about these people who are against him. So, these tricks are not working on me, and I'm sure they're not working on you. So let's look at some of the language that he's using here.
A young racist in Atlanta. She's a racist. And they say that she was after a certain gang.
So by referring to Fani Willis as a racist, what he's attempting to do is devalue racism, true racism, and create this phenomenon called reverse racism, which doesn't exist. So by pushing this narrative, it actually makes more and more people think, racist people, that he has a point and he's talking about something that actually has value, is a thing. But reverse racism is not a thing. It doesn't exist.
And she ended up having an affair with the head of the gang or a gang member.
And then he makes up some baloney about her having an affair with a gang member or the head of the gang. I mean, he's very light on detail because it's simply not true. And so by putting this stuff out there, again, he's trying to make her out to be the enemy, somebody less than him or less than other white people. Because let's be clear what he's doing here. This is pure racism.
And this is a person that wants to indict me. She's got a lot of problems, but she wants to indict me to try and run for some other office.
And suggesting that she wants to indict him because she wants to run for some other office is a lie. She's indicting him because he's broken the law. She spent 2 years building a case against him that is factual, that is accurate, and that reflects the magnitude of his crimes.
And by the way, wants to indict me for a perfect phone call. This was even better than my perfect call with Ukraine.
And then he's back on the old perfect phone call train again, which of course was anything but perfect. In fact, the phrase perfect phone call has never been used in English history before. So something that Trump has coined and then stuck with, and it's become tragically part of the American English vernacular, a perfect phone call. I still don't know what that is. Ultimately, he tried to ask for more votes to be found from Brad Raffensperger in Georgia, and in the process, he broke the law. And that is ultimately what this crime is about. You cannot, as a president or as any kind of political leader, after the election, go looking for more votes. It's as simple as that.
I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have.
So let's talk for a second about this reverse racism that Trump keeps using as an excuse to kind of rally support from white supremacists in his base. Because, of course, there's Fani Willis, there's Alvin Bragg, and also Letitia James, let's not forget. Donald Trump hates the fact that these are black people in positions of authority. These are black people whose job it is to ensure that he follows the law and will seek indictments if he doesn't or if he didn't. And this frustrates him more than anything. And I'll be honest, I was thrilled when I found out that a black female judge would be hearing Trump's latest case for seeking to overturn the election. Because, he has been a lifelong racist and continues to be. And, if he hates women and he hates black people, then really these are the perfect people to prosecute him. Now, reverse racism is a phenomenon where white racists like Donald Trump believe that they are as discriminated against, or even more discriminated against, because of their race than racial minorities. In fact, recent research suggests that many more white people believe they suffer from reverse racism than one might imagine. When he does his rallies and he's surrounded by like-minded people, he then pushes home this idea that black prosecutors investigating him are racist, and he flirts with mob violence, calling for mass protests if they do anything that he deems to be wrong or illegal. And he, when he talks about going back into the White House, he says to take back that beautiful, beautiful house that happens to be white. He even somehow manages to make the White House a kind of race issue. He said one of his actions as president could be to pardon those convicted as a result of their actions during the insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. Again, putting himself on the same side as the mob. Trump is claiming that allegations of racism directed at him and his policies and the supporters who embrace them are themselves examples of racism. Trump's response to the women criticizing him and his policies is to suggest that they are racist. And I repeat, reverse racism does not exist. Now, that's not to say that a black person can't be racist. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is that the idea of reverse racism is a false concept. Racism either exists or it doesn't. People are either racist or they're not racist. You don't just get to reverse it and then put it on some other ethnic group. It doesn't work that way. Now, the opposite of racism is actually tolerance. And the same thing goes for reverse discrimination. Opponents of affirmative action and corporate diversity initiatives like to cry reverse discrimination when they feel like red-blooded American white people are getting the shaft. They've declared war on woke culture. They've taken a hard line against Black Lives Matter because anything that doesn't put their kind first is supposedly reverse discrimination. But once again, I remind you, it doesn't exist. It's a false concept. There's either discrimination or there is not. The opposite of discrimination is inclusion. Trump advisor Stephen Miller said in an interview, "I think the term racist has become a label that is too often deployed by the left. Democrats in this country simply try to silence and punish and suppress people they disagree with, speech that they don't want to hear." Again, garbage. Shortly after the 2018 midterm elections, a black journalist asked Trump if he wasn't worried that his rhetoric was emboldening white nationalists. That, Trump declared, was a racist question. By calling them racist, Donald Trump is arguing that Letitia James and Fani Willis are only interested in pursuing charges against him because he's white, not because he did anything criminal. Alvin Bragg secured a grand jury indictment following a years-long investigation into Trump's complicity in hush money schemes and related crimes. And this isn't speculative. He actually referred to Alvin Bragg as the racist Manhattan district attorney in his social media posts. He actually wrote it down. Trump also called Alvin Bragg an animal, a classic racist trope. And that takes the racism debate to another level. And despite debasing shithole countries, trying to ban Muslims from entering the country, and telling us that demonstrators at a white supremacist rally were very fine people, Donald Trump still says, "I am the least racist person on the planet." He said, "Not since Abraham Lincoln has anybody done what I've done for the black community." He actually said that on television. Interestingly, data shows that many Americans do perceive reverse racism to be a significant societal problem. A Public Religion Research Institute poll indicated half of all Americans, 57% of all white people, and 66% of the white working class believe that discrimination against white people is as big a problem in America as discrimination against black people. And other studies take that claim further, suggesting that white belief in reverse racism has steadily increased since the civil rights movement, and in their view has become the dominant racial bias in America. And this trend appears to parallel the rise of Donald Trump, an autocrat, a dictator, a white supremacist, and a racist. A YouGov poll found that Trump voters think anti-white discrimination is a much more prevalent problem than discrimination against any other minority group. This is their point, that they do not see the difference between racism against black people and racism against white people. And for all of the work, for all of the civil rights movement and the BLM movement and the efforts of every individual who has worked tirelessly to try and bring about an end to racism in America and some level of equality, it is frightening that so many people voted for this racist-in-chief, Donald J. Trump. Let's see what Alvin Bragg, Letitia James, and Fani Willis have in store for Donald Trump in the coming weeks, months, and years. And not forgetting, of course, Judge Tanya Chutkan, the toughest January 6 sentencer, as she takes on Donald Trump's case to find out whether he really did commit crimes against the United States. I'm Anthony Davis. You can hear me every day on the 5 Minute News podcast, on Wednesdays on MAGA Uncovered, and on Sundays hosting The Weekend Show with Midas Touch.